Hi, Dav here, and today we have a new episode in the Art Review series, and today we'll be checking out the work of Mao Jin Li or Yong Chang Li. I'm going to link their page in the description below. But if you've been to Pinterest, I'm sure you've seen their work because I often see their illustrations on, even if I'm not specifically looking for like environment art, I'm going to encounter this sort of artwork on that side. Oh, and by the way, when it comes to like their color schemes, it's not too crazy. Like a bulk of the work is just like green, or maybe if it's like a snowy environment, it's gonna be like one red accent color, but that's it. Like it's not. They tend to go for more natural, earth type colors, and it kind of makes it somewhat real, even if it's clearly stylized, very sharp edges, very graphic. In that sense, it has a feel for nature, which I do like. Like the atmosphere is almost undeniable. And when it comes to their actual painting style, I do see a lot of hard edges, and I feel like they're using the lasso selection tool or paint tool or fill tool. I'm not sure what program they're using. Maybe Photoshop, I guess. And they do have a lot of textures being used. Meaning, wait, let me look at these trees. I feel like these are stamp brushes, right? Because I know in Photoshop there's this technique where you use, aside from like custom brushes, like custom shapes as well. If I check out the work of Sparth, I think they do that a lot in their work, and it just adds a lot of information. Because if everything is like just a flat color, it's gonna make your environment not it's still gonna work, but it doesn't have enough details. And sometimes you just need some texture or some details in your work to kind of make it more impactful. So I do like this. Although for this kind of style, you have to play a lot with your layering to achieve this kind of look, which means you also need to plan things a bit more. I mean, you can tell too by the birds, it's like a custom brush. I often see this brush in architecture spaces as well, architectural illustration. It just adds a bit of life to your, aside from like adding people, because oftentimes human beings are there to add some scale. Birds also can add some scale, but they also bring in a bit of that atmosphere, right? Like you can tell that place is somewhat alive. Even if you don't put as much people in there, if you just add some birds, it's gonna make it feel more real in a way. I do see some rake brushes for this palm leaves. I think it's a palm tree. And you notice for the perspective, they are kind of skewing it a little bit, right? Very common in like, there's this movie Spider-Verse, right? That kind of graphic style, which is very common. Also for this actual person, look at how it feels like a cut out thing, where you're breaking down a complex shape, a human being form, and you're simplifying it into just basic shapes. And it's interesting because you would expect this for more animated, again, think Spider-Verse, where it's a lot more exaggerated, lots of colors, it's clearly being pushed. But for these environments, they're choosing a lot of like realistic colors, or again, earth tones, subject matter as well. But the execution when it comes to those shapes, very cut out, very exaggerated. Let me go back here. I do enjoy, I don't do this enough where you just do black and white studies, where you only have two values in your page. And more often than not, for these types of studies, you're drawing the darker side, the shadow basically. And I think it's a great exercise to do, to be able to understand shapes better and to know exactly what you need to do. Because oftentimes we can over detail things, but when you think of like just two values, you know exactly what shape to add to kind of suggest what that overall shape is. I think doing this technique helps you to understand negative shapes a lot more. Meaning you don't need to use contour lines to define everything. You can just use a difference between two values to suggest an edge. I think it's the same guy. Look at how they're using the same guy. Look at the pose of this guy. Let's go back here. Same guy, right? A lot of art is also repurposing, I find. I'm going to mention again Sparth, because he tends to have the same process. Even if you look at his work, he tends to have the same format, same formula. There's going to be a guy in the foreground. Oftentimes the page or the composition, the overall like frame, canvas, it's going to be portrait. I do notice that, like a 4x3 something. And there's like a formula to things, and it tends to use like similar brushes, even if the environment does change, like the atmosphere of the environment does change. There's a consistency in their work, and they use pretty much the same format, the same brushes, the same custom shapes, right? The same sort of foreground, middle ground, background formula. And it can seem mechanical, but that mechanical side, that's simply your process. And all you have to do is just change a few things, ideally speaking, in terms of the subject, stuff like that. And you can pretty much have the same process but lead to a different result. So don't feel bad about using the same brushes in your work, the same kind of poses often. You just have to be creative with what you replace it with. Is this guy closer? Is this guy farther now? Will this shape be a different color in the next piece, right? So don't be afraid to have, because eventually as you keep pushing, you're going to develop, you're going to have your own tool set, your own techniques, your own list of protocols. And that's what makes you unique. So, but to find it out, you have to just make a lot of work. And I think this artist has a lot of work to the point where I tend to see their work on Pinterest, even if I don't ask for it, it just shows up. Right? Same guy, right? Just different position. I think these are custom brushes for the grass. Pretty cool. Well, maybe another artist I would recommend would maybe be Ling. I think they have a similar sort of sharp edge kind of style or cutout style. And they mainly do environments as well. Do you see how it's an old house, right? An old structure, an old car. But look at the diversity in the earth tones, the browns, a little bit of green. It just makes an old broken house. And obviously this hot chick, it makes it attractive. Even if you remove this girl, it's still gonna look good, right? The richness of the textures, the variation in values, the variation in textures. Look at how sharp all these shapes are. Go further back. Look at how the background's being done. It's very cloudy, very foggy. It almost blurs into each other. So you contrast that softer background with a sharper foreground, and you have the grass, which is kind of sharp, but it's also soft at the same time. So it kind of jumps in different like it jumps via contrast. Soft, hard, soft. For the grass anyway. She's cute. I'm so lonely. Wow. Look at this house. Look at how it's kind of skewed the perspective, but it looks good. All these details, I think these are custom shapes. It just imagine doing this manually. I don't think that would be a very smart for you to do. Also adding effects like this smoke here. Wait, is my laptop lagging? I saw like a, what do you call that? That time thing where it kind of, see that? Sorry. Let me just check my, okay, I just closed my browser. Maybe that was it. Like I can paint well within, Clip Studio Paint. However, if I have like one browser tab open, it's gonna, the lag is so noticeable, especially if I'm like recording too. Like it's so over. I think this girl, it's the same girl but just flipped horizontally, like mirrored to the other side. This guy, you can tell he has like a gun, extended magazine. He has like a drink here, so you can tell he's not in the proper sort of mindset. Yeah, the shapes just look very interesting. It looks fun. It looks creative. It looks happy. In snow, this amount of snow, it's a bit much. Nice bow. It feels, again, I think she's supposed to be in an old boat. I mean, if it didn't have all of these textures, it would still work, but it just doesn't have the same richness to it. And notice how the characters, they're not as textured as the environment. They're almost somewhat flat, a little bit more plain. I think it helps you to read the character more, because if they have the same amount of texture as the environment, it's almost going to blend. And they may feel like statues if you do that. Dude, that is so cool. It reminds me of that anime, Wolf. I forgot. It's like classic anime where this girl is running with, or the part of like a wolf pack. Queen. I forgot. Whoa. Right? The amount of shapes you can see. Again, my guess is these are all like custom shapes. It looks good. And what's cool is when you're using custom shapes, it doesn't matter how big you use them. You can always like make them bigger, because I think it's based off of like vectors. So you can increase the brush size, but it's not gonna like, or there's no brush size. It's more of like a shape. It doesn't matter how big it is. It's gonna look clear, right? So I do like that. Oh, you almost can't see it, right? You were seeing it from this view, but there's actually a story to this. If you zoom in over here, where the water is, or where the stream is, you can see this guy hunting, but he has to hunt this small sheep. It's a very delicate situation. And maybe they're hungry. Maybe they have no choice but to hunt a small baby sheep. Based on the world so far, it's kind of like, not post-apocalyptic, but just, it seems like a hard environment to live in. Like you would really need to learn how to survive. Same pose again, same guy. And you know what? I think the more you do this, eventually you can have like an entire like list or montage of people, of these characters that you can just implant everywhere to add to your environment, right? That's something you can build up over time. And look at how they can just, and again, that's the same sheep, that's the same girl we saw before with the bow. It's a great way to indicate what scale, like how big is this environment, right? Some waterfalls here. Whoa, we have like a cemetery. Like, are these crazy shots? They're not epic necessarily, but they entice, like they make you curious. And I think when you can elicit curiosity, I think you're doing a good job. And with less too, because sometimes you can make things interesting by making it very interesting. Basically, pump up the colors, the values, the contrast. Like you exaggerate a lot of things. But doing it this way, where it's a bit more, I would say, quiet. Because I consider these types of artwork, the style, as kind of quiet, meaning they're not doing too much. It's not like splash art where someone is like fighting, or it's or some kind of shot from, say, a doujin where, you know, something epic is happening. It's more of it's peaceful, it's quiet, it's almost like meditation. Like the art or the process of making this seems peaceful, like you're taking it slow. Wait, yeah, this is one of those pieces that I do see often reposted on or repinned on Pinterest. Another broken down house. Like you can make a broken down anything interesting if you just render it to be interesting. Sometimes how you do it matters. I'm not a fan of the whole, just to go outside of art a little bit, like how you say it matters, or it's not what you say, it's how you say. I mean, I do get it, but sometimes that can go overboard where people ignore valuable lessons or ideas just because it was said to, like, directly. But there is some truth to execution, right? Even if it's a broken down house, if you execute it, draw it, paint it, sketch it in a certain way, I think it can elevate your artwork without even doing much, right? I can look at the colors, all earth tones, and they're somewhat desaturated. They're not that bright, not that playful. It's kind of dark, kind of gray, but it's interesting. Like, oh, I love the wood textures here. Like it actually feels like it's old. Imagine being in this small town, and maybe this is like your neighbor, you know, she's one of those girls that you were never really close to, but, you know, because of your age, you know, it's, you know, coming of age kind of thing. You kind of meet up, maybe you hide under the the house here. And, you know, you figure yourself out, right? I'm sorry, I'm lonely. Anyway, I wouldn't mind an anime like this or a show like this where it's just kind of quiet, and maybe something happens, maybe a zombie apocalypse or something, or some mysterious monster, right? Okay, I think it's the same place, but just a different shot, right? Do you see? It's still the same character. You don't have to keep redrawing everything, and maybe that's the secret here. You don't have to keep redrawing, resketching, repainting. You can reuse a lot of stuff. Okay, I think these are more like studies, or more like 3D. I think they have like a 3D base and then they draw on top of it. That's my guess. I'm very impressed with artists who can do this, only because I can't. Or anyone can do anything, but there's a reason why there are artists who just shine more in adding stuff like this or doing detailed work, is because they do have a thing for details. And if that's you, double down, triple down, lock in. Because without it, it's gonna make your game, your space, your environment, whatever you're trying to create, or project, not all projects can be like this or should be like this, but it's nice to have some detail. It just makes your anything look more real, look more concrete. I think these types of shots are very common in like the concept design process. So if you're working in the concept art industry, or if you're in school for concept art, I wish you well. God bless. Even the way they're doing reflections, look at that, super cool. The shapes themselves are kind of hard to, so you can tell they're using a custom shape for that. But again, you simply have to be creative with how you use layers and layer modes. But that's something you can find out over time. You can tell these are brushstrokes in the sky, but they blurred it, dude. Super freaking smart. You got some trumpets. By the way, that's the same guy, just copied. Same bird, same grass, same brushes for the clouds, I'm guessing. However, sorry, let me just give you time back, sorry. Yeah, so even if you reuse plenty of things, you can create a completely new image, new artwork, new idea by just repeating, reusing the same or similar things. So I think that's the main takeaway we have for this or from this artist. I'm gonna link their pages or links in the description below, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one.